Heidi ho neighbors, Radio Goji here, and welcome back to Squeeze the World Presents Fez. When we last left off, we were back in this cave. I say back in this cave because I did show this off a bit during the main playthrough. Now that we know a lot of the secrets and whatnot regarding, that surround Fez, you can probably tell by this point that there is something pretty peculiar about this chamber. It not only repeats itself, I'm going to show off here. It repeats itself here, but the layout of the rocks here does, like I said, look a little peculiar. And in fact, if you're the eagle-eyed among you, or those of you who are pretty much familiar with Fez's bullcrap by now, will notice that it's basically an indentation of Tetris blocks, like the ones we've seen on the pillars. And where's the solution here? The solution is, let me just make sure I'm centered here. Right L, right X, R down, X up, and the anti-cube will appear at the top of the pattern. So I actually have to boogie back down until it repeats itself, so that I can grab it. And there is a warp here as well. We're not going to take the warp. There's no reason to right now. There's still some stuff in this sector of the water area that I'd like to check out. So I'm going to just go ahead and exit back to the waterfall area. Okay, good, it's nighttime. So if we turn the map around, the indentation before is now lit up, and it's showing another Tetris block puzzle. And the solution for this is left L, left right, R, down, up, L. So that opens that door and unlocks a whole new area. And this area, well, looks a little retro. As you can tell, the graphical style is like an old computer. I'm not too familiar with the graphical types of old computers. It's either CGA or EGA or something like that. But it's also has these disappearing, reappearing platforms that will show up based on the music. And it's also dark in here, so we have a little bit of light just surrounding us here. And inside this door, we've got one of these things again. I don't think we've actually done something with these. But the way these work is that when you're up next to them, you may hear the faint sound from the video itself, but if you're playing a console version, the controller rumbles left and right along with the noise. And if you're playing with headphones, or if you're playing on a Vita, this is the only way that you can do it on a Vita, these sounds are going through either headphone or either speaker, basically L's and R's. So, as you might expect, it's basically telling you a pattern that you need to input. And in this case, it is L, R, 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 L, R, R, L. And the anti-cubes look kind of funky in this setting. With the different graphical settings, or the different graphical setting areas, like everything takes on this whole kind of pseudo-retro look. And the anti-cubes and the cubes actually look really different. I think that's kind of a neat touch. But we're not done here, as you could probably tell. Whoops. Because there's still more to this room that we have to explore. Basically, just keep feeling your way around, because, like I said, it's very dark. And if you see platforms, take the platforms however you can. But make sure that they're in these... the longer side of the platforms is facing the screen, because otherwise you're not going to be able to take the platforms up. So here's what the... Oops, that's the What was the... Alright, L3. Here's what it looks like in 3D, by the way. Something that's really, really cool. Oh, something else I forgot to mention here. You may have noticed that the sound quality of my voice is a hell of a lot better. And that's because I am using Greg's microphone that we normally use for our Let's Plays and streams. He brought it over when he came over and we streamed Dragon Quest Builders. And he said that I could just borrow it for a while because he doesn't want to record anything with him, I guess, right now. And it's very nice because it means I don't have to have the frickin' headset around my neck. It's, I like that a lot. Oh, this is one of these things. Whoa! Alright, it tricked me a bit. I'm gonna wait for it to cycle back around. Well, I'm screwed. Okay, well, no, not necessarily. So find my way back up to... I shouldn't have done that. I really shouldn't have. Alright, are we back where I was? I might be. Sorta. I don't know if it's just I'm looking at the wrong angle. Oh no, there's a platform here. Alright, this is where I was. This one go up. Because I thought that the next one would be the one in front. It's not. There we go. Beep, beep, go. Beep, beep, go. Whoop. Beep, beep, go. And beep, beep, go. Alright, and now we're here. Is there... There's a door. Okay. Oh, okay. And then this is just straight up from here. And there's really no way that anyone can screw this one up, because it just, the platforms just keep increasing in size for each one. And at the top of it all is an anti-cube, as one might expect. Now let's see if there's anything else in this particular section. Oh, the waterfall section? Nope. Nothing? Alright, everything's all done here, so we'll just go ahead and take the warp back to the water area. Or the central water area. Central water area. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Now, in the central warp water area, because we've lowered the water level, there are going to be more accessible things here, too. In fact, every single area in the water, the main water area, is going to have a new door. At least one new door that we can unlock and go into. And this one's a doozy. This is probably the most infamous puzzle that I can gather in the entirety of the game. So impossibly infamous. The only way that anyone was able to figure this out was through brute force. I'm sure that there is a solution to it. I just don't know what that solution is. I mean, I do have a couple of theories here. Either A, there is a really, really obscure solution to figuring out or some obscure way to figure out the solution, I should say, that no one has been able to figure out unless other than brute forcing it. Or B, my other theory is that this was meant to be brute forced. Like, that was the actual solution. So, the solution actually is stems off of this burned map that we got earlier, and we have this kind of like looks like the Polytronic logo, and also pointing to a square. And the thing is, if we look Stupid phone. If we look at the ground, there's the same sort of thing going on here, except one has a marked space and one in the middle, and one has a blank one. I call this the one space because if you look at it from an angle, it looks like the number 1 in Fez. Well, it could be either 1, 2, 3, or 4, but I'm going to call it the 1 block. So I got to find where I wrote the solution down for this, because I don't. Okay, so what I have to do is you have to move yourself directly onto the blank block by basically just swapping perspectives and moving left and right until you can get to it, and using the first person to kind of gauge where you are. I think I'm a little off. It's a lot easier to do first person on the Vita because you tap the touch screen twice. You're not actually clicking a stick that can make you move. So I think I'm pretty much in the right place here. So in the blank space, you go up R, up X, down L, up down. And this will get this huge ass fucking 2001 obelisk up here, monolith thing. Everyone calls it a monolith. And that's just going to spin there for a while. So now what we have to do is we have to make our way to the exact center of the 1 block by basically using the same methods as we got into the blank block. I think that should be about right. And then, and oddly enough, this motion only has 7 inputs as opposed to the traditional 8, but the input here is down, down, L, R, R, X, up. God only knows where that came from, but it yields us another heart block. So that was fun. So that's the one that was solved with brute force. That's the most infamous puzzle in the entire game. And that's how you do it. Rado Goji style, I suppose. I have no idea. So let's start, because in my practice playthrough, I actually have all of the major water areas are already done. So at the very least, I can do those. And I don't think I did anything with the water tower there, but well, actually, let's go to the lighthouse last because it'll lead up to the industrial area. So I guess next will be... Let's go to this platforms bit. This will be quick, because there's only one thing that we have to do here. Where's the platforms area? Is it that one? Yes, that one. Okay, just gotta make my way up to the... Oh, door's right there. I don't even have to deal with the black holes. Good for me. Alright. So before I cut the video off, let's just make it to the... Let's just go to the top of the map here, because this is where the big secret is. I guess you could say it's not really a secret, but I'll show you what I mean. I don't know if I can make it before... No, you know what? I need to get rid of these black holes, because these black holes are freaking annoying, and there's no reason for them to be there. Especially since you can just get rid of them. They shouldn't even put them in the game in the first place. And in all honesty, they're really pointless. I mean, if you can just be, like, you know, persistent enough to go back and forth until they don't spawn, there's really not much of a point of putting them there unless it's to waste everyone's time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and cut the video, and when we come back, I'll actually be on top of the of that area where we need to be, and I'll show you what to do in this area. So until then, I've been Rado Goji, and I'll be here next time. Join me, won't you?